Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. I'm Fuzz, and today, as promised, it is Jean Claude Van Damme Day here in Fuzzland, which means I've got a list of my top 10 favorite Jean Claude Van Damme movies on physical media for you. Now, I've always gotten a kick out of Van Damme's work. I think his movies are a lot of fun. They're entertaining popcorn flicks that you don't really have to think too hard about, and that's why I like them. But I've never really considered Van Damme to be someone who was operating at the same level as someone like Arnold or Stallone. At least when we're talking about 80s and 90s action movies, Arnold and Stallone were pretty much like the two dominant superpowers. So I always considered Van Damme to be kind of like a B-list action star, right? And I don't mean that as any kind of slight against Van Damme. That's just was the nature of the scene back then. Arnold and Stallone pretty much took up all of the A-list oxygen in the room, right? I mean, they were the A-list. So if you weren't either Arnold or Stallone, by definition, you were operating at a lower level than they were. So I always thought of Van Damme as kind of a B-list action star. But I mean, I guess if we want to be charitable, we could call him like an A-minus lister or something like that, right? I mean, think about Van Damme relative to Arnold and Stallone. Van Damme never had anything that was like as culturally iconic as like the Terminator or Rocky or Rambo, right? So I think when you look at it from that lens, from that perspective, it's fair to say, yeah, Van Damme, he was a B-list action star back then, but there's nothing wrong with that because he made a lot of fun movies, right? He made the kind of movies that were easy to digest. You didn't have to think too hard about them. You can kind of turn off your brain. I mean, you weren't going to get a lot of like complex plot twists and turns in a Van Damme movie, right? And that's okay. But you did get just some light entertainment, a fun popcorn movie where you could just walk in, turn your brain off, and have a good time with the film. And that's exactly what I love about Van Damme's movies. So without any further ado, let's just get into it here and rock this. All right, so I got the acrylic stand set up here. My first time using it for a list video since making the switch over to the new gear. So I'm still a little bit excited about that. But for my number 10 Jean Claude Van Damme movie, we've got a film here that I actually thought was going to appear a little bit higher on this list. Like when I was originally preparing for this video and going into this video at first, I was assuming this film would be a little bit higher. But when I started rewatching a bunch of Van Damme films, I realized that I didn't care for this one as much as some of the others on this list. So it ended up at number 10. And I'm talking about Universal Soldier here. Little Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren head-to-head action. It's still a fun film, but, Van Damme, just due to the nature of his character, is a little more stiff in this one. And plus, I got to admit, the more I see Dolph Lundgren, the less I really like him. I'm just not a real big Dolph Lundgren fan. If Jean Claude Van Damme is like a B-list action star, I would consider Dolph Lundgren to be like a C-list action star. I've just never really quite understood his appeal. But I do always get a kick of Van Damme, even when he's a little more stiff, like in something like this. And by the way, this actually looks really good on 4K. I remember when I first got it a few years ago, I was really surprised at how good the 4K transfer looked, which I guess I shouldn't have been. I mean, Roland Emmerich is the director, and this is one of his earlier films. Roland Emmerich, of course, from Independence Day and Stargate fame. This turned out to be a really good looking 4K, really crisp detail and lots of pop and depth to the image. So if you're a fan of this film and you haven't picked it up on 4K, it's one I'd recommend. Other than that, not a whole lot to say about the story of this one. I don't usually like to get into the story too much. I will say there is a journalist in this movie, the female journalist. She's kind of annoying. She's really dumb. I mean, her character is really dumb in this movie. She just keeps getting into all kinds of trouble and doing a lot of really stupid things. So that was kind of amusing to watch. But a fun movie. I didn't, when I rewatched it this time, I didn't care for it as much as some of the other movies on this list. But I still enjoyed it, still had a lot of fun with it. It's a film that maybe I just wouldn't rewatch quite as often as other Van Damme films. So coming in at my number 10 from 1992, Universal Soldier. All right, and next up for my number 9, from 1989, we've got Kickboxer here. This is a hell of a lot of fun. I really enjoy this one. For some people, this might appear a little bit higher on the list, but I didn't put this one quite as high on the list because of Bloodsport. And I've always thought this one was very similar to Bloodsport. So I was like, man, if I'm going to have Bloodsport on this list too, which I know I'm kind of giving that away, but I don't think anybody was going to be surprised by Bloodsport appearing on a Jean Claude Van Damme list. But I figured if I was going to have Bloodsport on the list, then I didn't want to have this one too high on the list. But I do enjoy this film and had a lot of fun revisiting this one. It's an awesome looking 4K from Lionsgate with even cool packaging. You got a cool lenticular slipcover here. Let me get my arms around this so I can kind of show you how it works. There you go. You can kind of see it kicking the Kickboxer letters. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh, and it's a steelbook too, right? And I do love that Lionsgate always puts slipcovers on their steelbooks to protect them. That's just something they do a lot, and or they may do it with everything, but that's a practice that I really applaud from them. But let's go ahead and take off the slipcover. You want to see the steelbook there? Here's the front. Let you check it out for a second there. You can always pause it if you'd like. There's the back. And this just came out earlier this year. So this is a relatively recent release. And I was really impressed with how the 4K looked. I had it on Blu-ray and, whatever I think the previous Blu-ray edition was. I had it on Blu-ray, and this is definitely a huge improvement over that old Blu-ray. It really pops in 4K. So I have to assume that this is easily the best this has ever looked on home media. So yeah, for my number 9, Kickboxer. And moving on to my number 8, we've got a great action film here in a prison setting. I always enjoy prison settings for action films. I'm talking about Death Warrant from 1990. Is that right? Yeah, 1990. And Jean Claude Van Damme plays a cop who goes undercover in a prison to investigate some murders that are happening in that prison. Pretty simple premise, not a whole lot to it, but it's a whole lot of fun. This is definitely an enjoyable ride, and this is one I rewatched not too long ago. Most of these I actually did rewatch before doing this video. I don't always do that, but in this case, I was getting a couple Van Damme movies confused, and I couldn't remember which one was which, so I had to go and rewatch them so that I would actually know, what order to rank them in for this list. But yeah, this one's just a lot of fun. So if you've never seen Death Warrant, it's one I'd recommend picking up at some point. Now, I'd actually like to see this get a 4K release. I wouldn't mind if it did. I would upgrade it to 4K if it got a 4K release. This is a Scorpion releasing Blu-ray here. And I don't know when it came out, but yeah, if this got a 4K release, I could see this one looking pretty good in 4K. But if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world either. This isn't one I have to have on 4K like Time Cop, right? That was different. So anyway, yeah, great film, 1990s Death Warrant. Okay, and coming in at number 7, we've got a film here from 1993, Jean Claude Van Damme with Rosanna Arquette. I'm talking about Nowhere to Run, which I've got in a double feature pack here with The Order, but for number 7, I'm talking about Nowhere to Run. This is a really fun movie. In fact, when I rewatched this one recently, I ended up liking it more than I remembered that I'd liked it. So it was a fun ride. Basically, Van Damme plays this escaped convict who's not really a bad guy, but he ends up helping this widow kind of defend her land from being taken over by some actual bad guys. So it's a lot of fun, and yeah, I just had a good time revisiting this one. So not a whole lot to say about this one, but if you haven't checked it out and you're a Van Damme fan, I would say it's definitely worth your time. So yeah, for my number 7, Nowhere to Run. By the way, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, do me a favor and please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do, don't forget to activate that notification bell as well so you can be alerted whenever I'm posting videos that you might be interested in. Also, don't forget to like the video as well and share if you're feeling so inclined. It may seem like a small thing, but it really does help with the YouTube algorithm and the channel's visibility. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Okay, and coming in at number 6 here, now we have Bloodsport. I've got the 4K release of Bloodsport from Cape Light Films. This is a cool little media book here and an awesome 4K restoration. This is such a great film. Of course, Van Damme kicking ass like you would expect, but you got Bolo Young in this, who is just always at his sinister best in these Van Damme movies. I love Bolo Young. But you also even got an early performance from Forrest Whitaker in this one, which is kind of cool. But this is just a really entertaining film. You know, some people might rank this one like up near the top of their list. I'm never going to rank straight like fighting competition type films. I'm never going to rank films that deal with like straight fight competitions as high on my list as other types of action films. You know, because I'm not a big sports guy. You know, I can appreciate the fight competition films, but I'm just not a big sports guy. So I'm never going to rank those films as high on my list as other types of action films. Just like I would never rank Rocky as high on my list as I would, like Rambo or other types of Stallone films. Same thing here with Bloodsport, but I do really like this movie. It's a really well done film and highly entertaining, and it's just really cool to see how Van Damme operates. You know, of course, his signature high kicks to the head. You got to love that kind of stuff. That's what he's known for. His signature kicks and his splits. But his kicks are almost the stuff of legend, aren't they? Right. So, for my number 6 on 4K, Bloodsport. One I would definitely recommend picking up on 4K if you were a big fan of this film. I don't know if you can still get these anymore. Actually, to be honest, I think this actually might be out of print now. You'll probably have to find it on eBay. I would not be surprised. Here, let me put back up for a second. I would not be surprised if we do end up getting some kind of 4K release in the US. I wouldn't be surprised if, someone like Vinegar Syndrome released it in 4K. And in fact, for the longest time, I was hoping that they would. I was like, man, Vinegar Syndrome should release like a VSU box set of this film on 4K. And I was hoping they would, but it never happened, at least not yet. And I didn't want to wait any longer. I saw this thing was available. I think I got mine from like Orbit DVD because this is an import. This is like a UK release. And I can't remember. I think Cape Light, they might be like a German company. And I think they did both a German release and a UK release of this, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that for sure, but I think that was the case. And in this one, actually, it's in English. It's not German text. I know I've shown this one on the channel before, but perhaps I should just give you guys another taste there, because that is what we do here on the channel, right? Physical media. So it's a media book. Sorry, get my mic out of the and just muted myself at the same time. Still trying to get used to this setup, guys. So yeah, you got a media book, got 4K, and a Blu-ray disc with a cool little you get a cool little booklet in there with some text in English. But the transfer on this is fantastic. This is an excellent looking 4K. I was really impressed with how this came out. So, but hopefully we'll get one here in the US at some point, so you don't have to try and hunt down something like this on eBay and pay an arm and a leg for it. So I guess that's about it for my number 6, Bloodsport. Okay, and now we're into the top 5 here, and this one is really a blast. When did this come out? 1990, Lionheart for my number 5 here. This one really is just a whole lot of fun. Van Damme is basically serving in like the French Foreign Legion, and he gets word that his brother in Los Angeles is really hurt. And so he heads over, and he needs money when he gets to the U.S. He kind of deserts the French Foreign Legion to help his brother, and to get some money, he gets involved in like an underground fighting circuit, and that's where all the fun begins. But there's more to the story than that. But it's just a lot of fun. So if you've never seen it, this is one I would definitely recommend for any Van Damme fan. And this is another one I'd love to see get a 4K release at some point. So far, we just got the Blu-ray, but if this one comes out on 4K, I will upgrade this one because I do think it's one of the better Van Damme movies out there. So yeah, just a really fun time. 1990s Lionheart for my number five. And moving right along to my number four here, we've got another one here that I would probably have no problem upgrading to 4K if we were to get a 4K release of this film. And I'm talking about the MVD Rewind Blu-ray of Double Impact. This is a hell of a lot of fun, too. Such a great Van Damme film. Oh, it's my number four, right? In fact, when I went into this list, I knew what my top three were going to be right off the bat. But it got kind of tricky after the top three, trying to figure out which order I was going to place these in. But yeah, when I watched this the other night, I just had so much fun with it. I was like, yeah, I think this is actually pretty high up on my list. And so when I sat down to finalize my list, that is, in fact, the what turned out to be the case, my number four. And one thing I love about these MVD Rewind releases is you'll notice they put like little stickers, like little fake mock VHS stickers on them, right? To try and replicate the look of the old VHS boxes that we used to have when these were first out on VHS. The little mock stickers here, the Be Kind Rewind, the new release, those are actually printed on the slipcover. I just love little touches like that when a boutique label like this does little things like that to kind of really tap into that nostalgia. I kind of dig it. It's little touches like that that can make a release just kind of extra special. Right. So, yeah, really fun movie, just a kick-ass action flick. So if you've never seen Double Impact, I would definitely recommend it. For my number four, Double Impact. All right. And for my number three here, we've got a great film from 1995 here, directed by the great Peter Hyams. I'm a director I'm a big fan of. I'm talking about Sudden Death. Jean Claude Van Damme and Powers Booth. Powers Booth does a great job as the villain in this film. He's just awesome to watch. And this is a really fun film, just a total blast, and one I would definitely recommend if you've never seen it, and but you like other Van Damme films. Yeah, this one I had a hard time deciding, where in the top three it was going to go, because these top three films for me, they're all pretty close in terms of how much I like the films. But this has always been one of my favorite Van Damme films, even going back to the 90s, ever since it first came out. And the 4K looks really good too. I mean, it's not, this is not a reference quality 4K. I wouldn't call it like a demo-worthy 4K, but it is a 4K that's faithful to the film, and it looks like the film should look, right? Peter Hyams certainly has a certain kind of style and aesthetic that he likes to use with his films. And so that is definitely on display here. It's presented in a way that I believe is faithful to how the film should look. So yeah, it's a solid looking 4K. Not one of my favorite 4Ks from Kino, just in terms of like compared to some of their other ones, but it is a solid looking 4K for the type of film that it is. So yeah, just an awesome film. For my number three, Sudden Death. Okay, and then for my number two from 1994, we've got Time Cop. And I actually just did a review on this new 4K. It just came out a few weeks ago. The 4K itself just came out a few weeks ago. And if you'd like to check out my review on the channel, I put a link in the description below so you can check it out. I'm not going to say a whole lot about this right now because, I said what I needed to say back then just a couple weeks ago. But it's, I think it's definitely an upgrade in terms of picture quality. It's definitely an upgrade over the previous Blu-ray. I was definitely excited to finally get this one on 4K. It's just a blast. This film is so much fun and easily one of my favorite Van Damme films. Now, one thing I will say here that I didn't get a chance to say in my original 4K review, because I usually don't get into talking about the audio on these releases very much, but I know some people had some complaints about the audio. They just thought that it wasn't, beefy and punchy enough. It was kind of lackluster, and that's fine. I didn't really notice anything too egregious, but when I watched this, I was watching it on headphones using my Beat Studio Pro headphones, as I often do for many movies I watch, because I have to watch them late at night. I can't always use my 5.1 surround system. And I did remember thinking at the time when I was listening to it that, yeah, okay, it's not quite as punchy as I was hoping it would be. It didn't have as much presence to the mix as I was thinking that it would. But it didn't sound terrible or bad either, at least not to my ears. Now, another thing about this, some people have said that there's the center channel, the dialogue channel, kind of bleeds over into the left right a little bit. That's not something that's really an issue for me, but some people might have a problem with that. So I just wanted to mention those things about the audio. There wasn't anything on the audio that would be a deal breaker for me, right? I mean, and usually audio isn't a deal breaker for me. You know, it would have to be something pretty egregious for me to really have a problem with an audio track. But, I know it may not be quite as again, quite as beefy as some people were hoping for with this movie. So, but I still think it's a great looking upgrade, and it sounds fine. It doesn't sound terrible to me. It just maybe doesn't have quite as much beefiness and oomph overall to the sound as we might have been hoping. So yeah, just a great film, one of the better Van Damme films out there from 1994. For my number two, Time Cop. All right, and for my number one, we've got another Kino Lorber release here. Did I say Time Cop was a Kino Lorber release? That's a Scream Factory release. If I did say Kino, I didn't mean Kino. I meant to say Scream Factory. But we do have another Kino Lorber release here, and this one is one of the better Kino Lorber 4Ks, at least as far as I'm concerned. As far as Van Damme goes, I'm talking about Hard Target. This is an awesome movie, and it's easily my favorite Van Damme movie. You got to love not only Van Damme in this, but it's directed by the great John Woo, and you got Lance Henriksen in this as well as the villain. I mean, you just cannot go wrong with Lance Henriksen as the villain. He's awesome in this. So, a great film, and I talked about it before on the channel, so I'm not going to say too much. But really good looking 4K as well. Lots of depth and punch to the image, some vibrancy and pop to the image. The colors look amazing. So it's a really decent looking 4K as well. If you don't have this one on 4K, I would say it was worth the upgrade. So for my number one, Hard Target. Okay, so that wraps it up for my top 10 list. But of course, as always, I do have a few honorable mentions I want to go through just real quick here. I'm not going to spend much time on these at all, but I wanted to at least note these movies because, these are fun too. First off, from 1989, an old Canon Films movie, Cyborg. This film's kind of a mess, but and it's pretty cheesy, but it's a lot of fun. And Canon Films back in the day, back in the 80s, they put out a lot of fun, cheesy action movies, and this is no exception. So it's one I definitely check out if you're a fan of Van Damme and you haven't seen it. It's kind of like a dystopian future, I believe. In fact, I didn't even have a chance to rewatch it before making this list, but I knew from what I'd seen before of it. I mean, I'd seen the film before, but I think it had been a year or two, so I didn't really feel the need to rewatch it. But I remembered it being a fun film, and I knew that this was one that I'd want to at least mention to you guys for those who haven't seen it. Cyborg for my first honorable mention. Another one worth mentioning is Maximum Risk. You got Jean Claude Van Damme and Natasha Henstridge in this one. So, and it's a fun movie. Maybe not one of his more memorable movies, but when you're in the moment and enjoying the film, it's a fun ride. So it might be one worth checking out for those of you who are Van Damme fans, but haven't seen this one. Maximum Risk. And then, of course, I also had to mention Street Fighter here from 1994. This is a fun movie. It's pretty cheesy. It's not a great movie by any stretch. But Raul Julia, he's great in the film, and it's just a fun film. It's a lot of fun, right? It's kind of amusing as well. And I only saw this for the first time, I don't know, a couple months ago. In fact, I talked about it on the channel when I picked it up, that I had never seen it. And I know Van Damme fans, a lot of Van Damme fans had kind of talked this one up or said that they kind of like this one as like a guilty pleasure almost, right? So I had to finally check it out. And that's what it is. It's a guilty pleasure. So I had a lot of fun watching this one for the first time when I was prepping for this list. So Street Fighter. And then the last one I wanted to mention was Black Eagle with Jean Claude Van Damme and Sho Kosugi, and that's why I got it. And I'll be honest, it's not necessarily the greatest film. It's definitely worth a watch, and if you're a Sho Kosugi fan and a Van Damme fan, then it's probably worth having it in your collection just for that alone. It's a fun film, but it's not one of the better Van Damme films. But I mainly got it because I do like Sho Kosugi from, of course, Revenge of the Ninja fame, Ninja 3 Domination, and of course, even Enter the Ninja. The idea that Sho Kosugi was pairing up with Van Damme for a movie, that was very appealing to me. So I couldn't resist but check it out and add it to the collection. And this is another one of these MVD Rewind where you got the mock VHS stickers on it. So again, always love little touches like that. Black Eagle for my last honorable mention. Okay, so that about wraps it up for my list of my top 10 favorite Jean Claude Van Damme movies on physical media. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I always love hearing from you guys. What do you think of my list, and what are some of your favorite Jean Claude Van Damme movies? I always enjoy chatting with you guys and interacting with you guys in the comments, so make sure you leave me some feedback down below. Also, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.